What's good, everybody? It's your boy D-Nice with I2G.com, back at it with another review. Today we are reviewing the final album. I might have to put that in air quotes, but I'll stick with what T.I. says. It says this final album, Kill the King, and we have a review on that today. You can check us out, www.illuminati2g.com. We do have a pull down link menu, and you can click on the reviews section to check this review out. You can also check us out on YouTube at I2G Hip Hop. Letter I, number 2, letter G, hip hop, all one word. Let's get right into it. So for nearly 25 years, T.I. has carried the self-appointed and widely debated title of King of the South. I've always considered T.I.'s career kind of similar to Jay-Z's, or even kind of like Lil Wayne, being very, braggadocious about saying, I'm the king of the South. Whether I agree with it or not, that's neither here nor there, but what is undeniable is the amount of hit records and albums that T.I. has been able to put out during that span. This album dropped on June 26, 2026 through Grand Hustle and distributed through Empire Distribution. And again, T.I. has talked about this album title for, I would probably say at least 5 or 6 years, saying this would be his last album. And it finally did drop. And I can definitely say from the opening moments, Kill the King feels like a return to the qualities that made T.I. one of hip-hop's most important figures. Trademark cadence, razor sharp, it's got that southern swagger, and always highly intelligent, and always very introspective with his lyrics, and also works that in with his flow as well. The lead single, Let 'Em Know, produced by Pharrell. Classic T.I. sound, and just a great overall record from him. It's gotten a lot of play, especially during the NBA playoffs. Heard it played quite a bit. Also got some good radio spins as well. It was a great first single. What separates Kill the King from late career rap albums from a lot of other artists that are towards the end of their career is this willingness to embrace maturity without sacrificing competitiveness. And T.I. still raps like he has something to prove, but the targets have changed. It's got a lot of themes on here: fatherhood, legacy, mortality, and self-examination. It's definitely prominent throughout this album. Other tracks that I'm enjoying off of the project. Give me 1 second here. See What I'm Saying with Young Dro, produced by DJ Toomp. I think of over all the years, that has been his best producer that he has worked with over time. Another dope track that I really was into, Where I'm From, Anderson .Paak and Stallone, produced by the legendary Dr. Dre. It's a classic Dr. Dre beat. For a lot of my West Coast heads and people that remember, T.I. did a lot of reference tracks for Detox, and this was back when we actually thought Detox was going to come out. Nas was another one that worked a lot with Dr. Dre back then. Ludacris. It was kind of those three guys, and then Rick Ross as well kind of added into it once Dre was working with him on that Three Kings song that was supposed to be a Detox record. Shout out to Jake One. But classic collaboration with T.I. and Dr. Dre. Again, air quotes if this is his last album, but I would love to see a executive produced Dr. Dre T.I. album. I think that would be incredible. Big Dog, Trauma Bond, some of my other tracks as well. One of my favorite on there. just going through, kind of looking at other tracks, kind of that jumped out to me on this record. King's Thought, also one of the big tracks on there. But the album did have a couple kind of duds and kind of weaknesses at times. I felt like the middle of the album kind of lost momentum. Some songs revisit ideas T.I. had explored through his catalog, occasionally making the album feel longer than necessary. Did kind of feel that at times. Could have felt maybe 2 or 3 tracks could have been omitted from it. But the track with Summer Walker was not a big one for me, and Won't. Gorgeous with Usher was okay. Again, not a big fan of that track. Again, 18 tracks. I think 15 would have kind of been the sweet spot, and I definitely think that could have been where you're saying now maybe this is a top 5 T.I. album. You have to kind of remind yourself 25 years and so many projects over the years. And I think one of the greatest achievements is kind of has a very thematic theme to it, and it sticks with that, and it's very consistent. The crown that once represented dominance now symbolizes responsibility, burden, and growth. It's a lot of wisdom put through here with T.I. And I always said that even when he came out, he has an old soul to him. And this, again, air quotes, he said this is his last album, but you kind of get that feel from that. But it's an older, wiser T.I. That's going out. And but I like it. It's not too preachy. But definitely the highlights of this album, kind of really accentuate that, this is, I'm going to go out and just letting all you young cats and everybody know I'm still the king of the South, and I'm still going out on top. But, final verdict of it, it may not surpass like trap music, urban legend, King, Paper Trail. But again, it kind of is on that fringe. Definitely top 10, but not, top 5 of his best albums. But, it succeeds where many farewell albums fail. It sounds very honest, and it's very up to date, and it doesn't sound like, T.I. lyrically is on his last leg, and, people say, I wish he would have quit 3 albums ago if I know this. That's definitely not the vibe with this project. And he doesn't really try to relive his glory days. He just reflects on them. He critiques them, and he celebrates them with perspective only time can provide. If this is, again, air quotes, truly the last chapter in his recording career, he's going to leave the game much the same way he entered it: confident, thoughtful, and unapologetically T.I. And for that, salute to T.I. If I had to give this album a grade, I would say a 3.75 out of 5. But again, a solid final album from T.I. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if he drops a couple singles here and there, but all in all, a very, very solid project, and definitely one of the better albums I've heard so far as we hit the midway point of 2026. So, urge everybody to check it out. Again, the site, www.illuminati2g.com, word Illuminati, number 2, letter G.com. Can go down, there's a drop down link for, and you can see reviews. Click on that. All the reviews will be there as well. Check us out there. And again, our hip hop YouTube page, I2G Hip Hop, letter I, number 2, letter G, Hip Hop, all one word. D Nice signing off. Peace.